Hey, Brigham with Drift here. In this video, we're talking about the Korua Transition Finder. This was my first experience with Korua. Been super curious. They brand their boards as made for turning, and this one is meant to be one of the more, all mountain sort of boards in their lineup. So I was curious what that would be like. Before I tell you what I think, you can check out my specs and my biases below so you know where I'm coming from. And let's get into it. The first thing that I want to tell you about this board, it's pretty cool, is that I've ridden probably around 40 snowboards out of the plastic this season, with a factory wax on them. And this board has the pleasure of being the fastest one of all of those. Now, some of that could be affected by conditions. Obviously, a factory wax is better in some places than another. I'm not necessarily saying that this has the fastest base of any board I've been on, but it's definitely up there, and it was easily the slickest out of the package. Maybe sometime I'll tell you about some of the others that were up there too. Second thing I'll tell you about this board is, and this should come as no surprise, but it does rip a carve. Now again, I got the Transition Finder. Other than the auto, it's kind of, one of the two most all-around sorts of boards. So I thought, well, I'll kind of ease into this Korua thing. Full disclosure, I don't have a ton of experience with carving boards. So to me, getting on this, this thing rips a carve as well or better than almost anything I've ever ridden. So, that was the first thing I noticed was, if you're looking for something for the corduroy, Korua delivers. This board delivers. By way of comparison, I demoed a Jones Free Carver 9000 earlier this season, and I would say this comes pretty dang close. And that board rips a carve too, and it should. That's what it's made for. But that's also like all that board does. It doesn't do anything else. It just wants to be on edge and carve. So this carves almost as well, if not as well. But in addition to that, and this is the third thing I'd share, this is a pretty wide board, and it's got a bit of taper and a big wide nose with a lot of early rise, and that makes this a pretty capable board in the powder as well. If it's a big, deep day, I don't know that I would reach straight for this, but if you want something that's for high-speed cruising and carving and that will also take care of you, on the random powder day, this would be a good option. The fourth thing that I would share is that in the end, I ended up a little bit confused about this board. I liked it, but I kind of have to admit that in the end, it really only wowed me on the corduroy. And, in the powder, it was fine. In the crud, it was a little stiff and aggressive for my taste. It might be better for others, but with this width and this flex, it was kind of tough in the cruddy, tracked up snow. It really it impressed me the most on the groomers, on a carve. And beyond that, I'm not 100% sure, what it's for, I guess is what I'm saying. So to me, maybe not as versatile as its build. And so when I picked a Korua, I thought, well, let's ease into these boards. I don't know how aggressive they are and how focused they really are on carving. And this certainly wasn't too scary or too aggressive to ride at all. But it actually made me kind of wish I would have just jumped right into the deep end with a cafe racer and just, let's just go all in. If these guys are making boards that are meant to carve, give me the board that is the one for ripping a carve on a groomer and see what that's like. Because for me, beyond the groomer on this, it almost felt like kind of a miss. If I wanted something versatile, this isn't quite it. I actually feel like the Hovercraft 2.0 is a little more well-rounded, maybe even the Nidecker Mellow, the Amplet Safari, that are all kind of similar shapes. But then I wondered, well, would I get an even better time on the carve with something even more full-fledged, like I said, like the Cafe Racer. So I'll have to try some more and get back to you. So in any case, by all means, an excellent board, high-end bass, you know, just everything about it. Like, these are premium boards, and they're awesome. It's just, as usual, kind of depends on what you want. Those are my thoughts about the Korua Transition Finder. Let me know what you think. Hit me up with any questions you have. Thanks for watching.